Hello ladies, my name is Marin and I want to welcome you to Thankful Thriftiness. Okay, so first of all, I cannot believe I waited this long to try making my own scrunchies. This has to be at the top of the list of easiest sewing projects, and it's something that's actually very useful and very customizable, so you can make scrunchies that go with literally any outfit you want to. And it's just so plain fun, and they don't take that long at all. So today I'm going to share with you how to make your own custom scrunchies. I mean, look at that. Is that not like just the happiest little stack of scrunchies you've ever seen? I enjoy wearing these more than regular ponytails because I find that they're less painful and have much more of a style element to them. And if you get the right looking scrunchie, it can really add an extra dimension to your outfit, an extra accessory. So to make your own scrunchies, you are going to need a pin cushion. Well, not one that's as messy as this one, but you're going to need a needle and thread, elastic. You could use 1/2 inch elastic. I like to use 1/4 inch. It's all up to you. Sewing scissors, definitely a must. If you're sewing without sewing scissors, get yourself some sewing scissors. They're much more sharp and much more effective. You're going to need a measuring tape or something to measure with. Safety pins, I recommend having at least 2. And finally, fabric. You could use pretty much any material you want to. I've tried some thicker, some thinner ones. This is a stretchy material. You just might want to adjust how wide you cut your fabric to accommodate the type you use. To begin making your scrunchies, you're going to start by cutting your fabric. You're going to want a rectangle that is 3.5 inches wide and 21 inches long. You can definitely play with those measurements later. Just do this for your first time to make sure that you get it approximately at an average scrunchie size. I made myself a little paper pattern, and that way I can use it on multiple different fabrics. I don't have to use my measuring tape every time. Like I said, later on, if you want to make it more puffy, then you could add more to the width. If you want to make it a little bit more scrunchy, you can add to the length. Just play around with it. It's a pretty easy pattern to begin with. Then you're going to want to cut 6.5 inches of your elastic. Now that everything's all cut out, take your rectangle of fabric and fold it in half. If it's a two-sided fabric where there's a good side and a bad side, make sure you lay the 2 good sides together when you fold it. These are called the right sides of the fabric, and you'll see later on why it's important that they're touching each other. Also, make sure that the edges of your fabric line up and then pin into place. This next step you could hand sew. I prefer the sewing machine. It makes it really quick and easy, but it's all up to you. Sew along the entire length of your scrunchie with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, which means you leave a 1/4 inch between the edge of the fabric and where your seam is. Then take your safety pin and hook it to one side of your fabric. Close up the safety pin and use it to flip your tube inside out. Then anchor your elastic to one end of the tube. Hook the safety pin on the other end of the elastic and use it to move the elastic through the tube. You're going to find that there's going to be much more fabric than there is elastic. Just scrunch it all up in the middle. Just make sure you don't lose either end of the elastic or else it's kind of hard to get out. Now that your elastic is threaded through your scrunchie, bring together the 2 ends of the elastic, overlapping about 1/2 inch. You can either sew it closed with your sewing machine or by hand. The sewing machine anchors it in very nicely and makes certain that you won't have it slipping out later on. You are almost done, I'm telling you. This is such a quick sewing project, and if it's your first time sewing or you have questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. All you have to do now is sew up the 2 ends of the fabric tube. There are several ways you could do this. I recommend using a whip or a ladder stitch, demonstrated in this video. If you need more explanation on how exactly to do these stitches, Google it, it's pretty easy to find. I'm just not that good at explaining stitches. Try to make the stitches as invisible as possible by pulling them tight, but not too tight to make the fabric pucker. And now your scrunchies are ready for wearing, sharing, and collecting. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and hopefully my lack of ability to make a good ponytail doesn't dissuade you from making your own scrunchies. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or any simple sewing project ideas. If you're a first-time sewer just starting to get your feet wet into the world of seamstressing, I highly recommend starting with a project like this. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you